Ambassador Sujin Kim walked slowly through the empty halls of Station Omega 7. Her footsteps echoed in the silence. Just 3 hours ago, these same halls were filled with aliens from across the galaxy. Now they were all gone. She stopped in front of the main council chamber. The big door stood wide open. Inside, 1,000 seats sat empty. Each seat once held a representative from different worlds. The Zelkins with their sharp teeth, the Hegemony with their glowing skin, the Trade Federation with their many arms. All gone. Sujin touched her communication device. Admiral Park, they really did it. Every single one of them left. Admiral Dongwoo Park's voice came through clearly from his ship. The Defiance was humanity's biggest warship. It waited just outside the station. Did any of them say anything before they left? Ambassador Veltar sent me a message. He called this a child's tantrum that will pass soon. Sujin felt anger rise in her chest. 3 years, Admiral. 3 years since they promised to protect us. The Admiral said nothing. Both of them remembered that terrible day. The Devourer swarms had reached human space. These creatures ate everything. Planets, ships, people. The Council had promised to help humanity fight them. They brought their huge fleets. Thousands of ships with powerful weapons. But when the Real fighting started, they ran away. The Council called it a tactical retreat and smart positioning. While human colonies burned, the alien ships jumped to hyperspace and disappeared. Dr. Minho Lee appeared on the chamber's big screen. He looked tired but happy. The quantum bombs worked perfectly. We destroyed the last Devourer nest 2 hours ago. Earth is safe now. Safe because of us, not them, Sujin said. She looked at all the empty alien seats. News traveled fast across the galaxy. On Nexus Prime, the biggest trade world, Counselor Rathek laughed when he heard about humanity's decision. Humans are too emotional. They will come back when they need our help again. On the military world of Sparta 7, General Kextor agreed. Humans cannot survive alone. They are too weak, too young as a species. But they were wrong. Deep in human space, things were changing fast. Captain To Choi stood on the bridge of his research ship Innovation. His crew was testing new technology. Technology that would have been impossible under Council rules. The Council had many laws about what humans could and could not build. They said it was for safety. Really, it was to keep humans weak. Begin test number 15, Teho ordered. His ship's new engine started up. Space around them began to bend and twist in ways that seemed impossible. Where Council ships needed huge amounts of power to travel fast, the human engine used almost nothing. "Captain, this is incredible," said Engineer Young Sik Nam. "We are moving twice as fast as Council ships, but using half the power." On Mars, Dr. Eun-Soo Park watched her own experiments. She was building weapons that could think for themselves, shields that could adapt to any attack, ships that could appear and disappear at will. "The Council made a big mistake," she said to her team. "They thought keeping us weak would keep us loyal. Instead, they just made us angry and creative." Back on Station Omega 7, Sujin prepared humanity's final message to the galaxy. She stood in the same spot where human ambassadors had begged for help during the Devourer War, where they had been told to wait, while Council members decided humanity's fate, where they had watched alien ships abandon them. "Record message for all Council worlds," she told the station's computer. "Recording," the computer replied. Sujin looked directly into the camera. "People of the galaxy, humanity is leaving the Galactic Council today. For 3 years, we trusted you to keep your promises. When we needed help, you ran away. When we begged you to stay, you made excuses. When we asked why you abandoned us, you blamed us for being weak." She paused and thought about all the human colonies that had been destroyed, all the people who had died while Council ships fled to safety. "We do not blame you for being afraid of the Devourers. We blame you for lying about helping us. We blame you for breaking promises to people who trusted you. Most of all, we blame you for thinking we would forget." The message went out to every world in Council space. On most worlds, the aliens just laughed. Humans leaving the Council was like children running away from home. They would be back soon, asking for help. But some aliens were not laughing. The smart ones remembered something important about humans. When humans got angry, they got creative. When they got creative, they got dangerous. Captain Jamin Ko was building new ships in the shipyards above New Seoul. These ships looked nothing like Council designs. They were sleek and fast. They moved like hunting animals instead of flying boxes. How many can we build in 6 months? Admiral Park asked over the communication system. 300 warships, plus support ships, Jamin replied. Each one will be worth 10 of their ships. Throughout human space, the same thing was happening. Humans who had been held back by Council rules were finally free to build what they wanted, to create what they dreamed, to become what they were meant to be. The galaxy thought humanity was weak and scared. Soon, they would learn the truth. Humanity's greatest strength was not their weapons or their ships. It was their refusal to give up when everyone else said something was impossible. 6 months had passed since humanity left the Galactic Council. Most aliens had already forgotten about it. They were busy with their own problems. Trade wars between the hegemony and the Federation, border disputes in the Outer Rim, normal galaxy politics. They had no idea what was happening in human space. Dr. Eun-Soo Park stood in her laboratory on Mars. Sweat dripped from her face as she watched her newest creation. The quantum fold engine was the size of a small room. It hummed with power that made the air itself seem to vibrate. "Start test number 27, she called to her team. The engine came to life. Reality around it began to bend like rubber. Space folded in on itself. Where Council hyperdrive technology needed massive ships and huge amount of energy, humanity's new system just made the universe do what they wanted. Fold efficiency is at 98%, reported engineer Young-Sik Nam. His voice was excited. We are going 3 times faster than Council ships and using 1/3 of the power. How is this possible? Asked Dr. Bore Shin, the newest member of the team. Eun-Soo smiled. Because we stopped following their rules. The Council told us quantum folding was too dangerous, too unstable. Really, they just did not want humans to have better technology than them. Meanwhile, on the industrial world of New Taegu, Captain Jamin Ko watched hundreds of workers build humanity's new fleet. The shipyards that once built slow, ugly ships according to Council designs now created something completely different. The new human ships looked like metal sharks. Sleek and deadly, they could fold space around themselves to appear anywhere instantly. Their weapons could think and adapt. Their shields could learn from every attack. Admiral Park wants to know how many ships we can have ready in 3 months, his assistant said. Tell him 400 combat ships, plus twice as many support vessels. Jamin replied. Each one worth 20 of their old ships. The changes were happening everywhere. On Sejong Station, Administrator Nayoung Shin watched as thousands of humans arrived from Council space. These were not refugees running away. These were scientists, engineers, and inventors who were tired of Council restrictions. We have so many new people that we had to build 3 new research centers this month, she reported to Earth. They are creating things I never thought possible. New ways to grow food. New materials stronger than anything we had before. Even new types of mathematics. What about the aliens? Asked Director Kim on Earth. Are any of them trying to contact us? Some are, Nayoung said with a smile. The smart ones. She was right. Throughout the galaxy, some aliens were starting to notice strange things. Traders reported seeing human ships that moved faster than anything they knew. Energy readings that did not match any known technology. Human colonies that had been struggling now showed massive growth. On the Mirallan trade ship Prophet's Edge, Captain Zilken studied the data from his sensors. His ship had tried to scan a human patrol vessel last week. The small human ship had appeared from nowhere, looked at them with technology he could not understand, then vanished faster than his computers could track. Captain, said his first officer, the energy readings make no sense. That little ship had more power than our entire fleet. Zilken's many eyes blinked slowly. The Miralans were traders first. They knew a good deal when they saw one. Perhaps we chose the wrong side in this conflict. He was not the only one thinking this. On the trade world of Nexus Prime, Merchant families were holding secret meetings. The council had always controlled interstellar trade through their regulations and taxes. But humans were offering something different. Free trade, no taxes, no bureaucracy, just honest business between equals. The humans are offering us direct access to their new technology, whispered Merchant Velcara to her associates. Quantum engines, adaptive materials, weapons that never miss their targets. But the council forbids trade with humans, another merchant replied. The council abandoned the humans when they needed help. Velcara said, "Why should we stay loyal to people who break their promises?" Back in human space, the changes were accelerating. Dr. Minho Lee had moved from weapons research to something even more ambitious. He was trying to understand the fundamental forces of the universe in ways the council had never attempted. The council always said certain things were impossible, he explained to his research team. Faster-than-light communication, matter transportation, time dilation fields. But they never really tried. They were too comfortable with their old technology. And now, asked his assistant Dr. Hygiene Park, now we are proving them wrong about everything. Minho activated a device on his workbench. A small metal cube disappeared from one side of the room and appeared on the other side instantly. Matter transportation. The council said it would take 1,000 years to develop this. How long did it take us? Hygiene asked. 3 months. The news was spreading through underground channels. Independent worlds that had always felt trapped between council bureaucracy and alien politics began to see a third option. The human alliance was offering protection without dominance, technology without restrictions, trade without exploitation. On the mining world of Kepler, 442b, Governor Thexman held an emergency council meeting. The hegemony demands we increase our mineral output by 40%. The Trade Federation wants to raise shipping taxes again. The council offers no help, only more demands. What about the humans? Asked mining supervisor Keltar. They offer to buy our minerals at fair prices. No taxes, no quotas, no demands. They just want honest trade. Can we trust them? Thexman looked at the reports from human space. Growing prosperity, technological advancement, fair treatment of allies. Can we afford not to trust them? Similar conversations were happening on dozens of worlds. The galaxy was starting to realize that humanity had not weakened after leaving the council. They had become stronger than anyone thought possible. And they were just getting started. The human ship Wanderer appeared in space near the Kepler Junction like a ghost becoming real. One moment there was empty space. The next moment there was a sleek black ship that seemed to absorb light itself. Captain Boare Kim sat in her command chair, watching her crew work with smooth efficiency. 3 ships on our sensors, reported Navigation Officer Sung Min Oh. They are Zelkin ships. 1 big warship and 2 smaller ones. Boare smiled, but it was not a friendly smile. The Zelkins had been very loud about supporting the Council's decision to abandon humanity during the Devourer War. Today they would learn what that decision had cost them. Scan their ships and send a polite message, she ordered. Let us see what they are carrying. The lead Zelkin ship was called Dominance of Stars. Its captain was Morthek, a warrior who had won many battles. He looked at his tactical display and laughed. 1 small human ship against 3 Zelkin warships? This would be easy. Signal the other ships, he told his crew. We will board the human ship and take whatever technology they have stolen from us. The message that came back from the human ship was very polite. Zelkin ships, this is Captain Kim of the Human Exploration Corps. Please continue on your path. We do not want to interfere with your journey. Morthek's sharp teeth showed in what Zelkins thought was a smile. Interfere? You will surrender your ship for inspection, or we will destroy you. What happened next will be talked about in military schools across the galaxy for many years. The human ship simply disappeared, not into hyperspace like normal ships. The energy pattern was completely different. 1 second it was there, the next second it was gone. Then the Dominance of Stars began to have problems. Its weapon systems went offline. The engine stopped working. The shields failed. One by one, Every system on the proud Zelkin warship stopped functioning. The human ship reappeared, but not where anyone expected. It was beside them, then above them, then behind them. It moved like it was in several places at once. The Zelkin sensors could not track it properly. "How are they doing this?" shouted Morthek's weapons officer. "I do not know," Morthek replied. His voice was no longer confident. "All weapons fire on that ship." But there were no weapons to fire. The human ship had somehow disabled everything without destroying anything. The crew was not hurt. The ship's hull was not damaged. But the dominance of stars was now just a floating piece of metal in space. The two escort ships tried to run away, jumping into hyperspace as fast as they could. They left their flagship behind, without even trying to help. "This is Captain Kim," came a calm voice over all communication channels. "Your crew is safe. Your ship will work again in 1 hour. Tell your leaders that humanity remembers its friends and its enemies." By the time Zelkin rescue ships arrived, the human vessel was gone. It left behind only sensor recordings that the Zelkin military would mark as their highest secrets. The recordings showed impossible things. A ship that could exist in multiple places. Technology that could disable enemies without violence. Weapons that seemed to think for themselves. Similar encounters began happening throughout neutral space. The proud Nexri Empire sent a battle group to investigate reports of human ships in their territory. They found their unbreakable battle formations dissolved by ships that moved like thoughts instead of metal objects. Captain Inho Song commanded the human destroyer Swift Justice when it met a Nexri squadron near the Vega system. The Nexri had 12 ships in perfect formation. Each ship was 3 times larger than the human vessel. "Surrender immediately," demanded Admiral Kexmore of the Nexri fleet. "You're outnumbered and outgunned." "I count 12 ships to my 1, Captain Song replied politely. "But I think you're the one who is outnumbered." The Nexri admiral laughed until the human ship began to multiply. First there were 2 human ships, then 4, then 8. Each one looked exactly the same. The Nexri sensors could not tell which one was real. Holographic projections, the admiral decided, target the real ship. But when they fired, all the human ships moved at the same time in the same way. The weapons passed through some of them, but bounced off others. The Nexri could not tell which ships were real and which were illusions. Within minutes, every Nexri ship found its weapons offline and its engines dead. They drifted in space while the human ships disappeared one by one until only the original remained. "Your crews are unharmed," Captain Song announced. "Your ships will be functional in 30 minutes. Please tell your admiral that the age of bullying smaller ships is over." On the Hegemony patrol ship Fire of Truth, Captain Wiotar received an urgent message from Fleet Command. "Human ships have been spotted in Sector 7. Investigate and report." When Wiotar arrived at the coordinates, he found nothing, empty space. But his sensors detected strange energy patterns that suggested something very large had been there recently. "Captain," his science officer reported, "these energy readings indicate a ship at least 10 times larger than anything in our fleet." "Impossible," Wiotar said. "Humans do not have ships that large." "The evidence suggests otherwise, sir." Reports like these began reaching Council intelligence agencies from across the galaxy. Human ships that could appear and disappear at will. Technology that could disable enemy vessels without destroying them. Weapons and defenses beyond anything the Council had ever seen. On the Council world of Prima, Intelligence Director Quindar studied the growing pile of reports. Each one seemed impossible. Together, they painted a picture that terrified him. "How many human ships are we facing?" he asked his assistants. "Unknown, sir. They appear and disappear too quickly for accurate counting." "What are their capabilities?" "Far beyond our current understanding, sir." The assistant's voice was quiet. "I believe we may have made a terrible mistake." The emergency meeting of the Galactic Council took place on Prima, the neutral world where the most serious crises were discussed. Representatives from dozens of species filled the great chamber. The air was thick with tension and the smell of fear from many different alien races. Counselor Veltar of the Hegemony stood at the center podium. His skin plates glowed red with stress. The human situation has become very serious. Our intelligence reports suggest they have developed technology that is far beyond our own. Angry sounds filled the chamber. Clicks, whistles, and growls translated into protests in dozens of languages. That cannot be possible, declared Admiral Thexmore of the Helios Consortium. His forearms waved dramatically. They are barely past their industrial age. What could they possibly create in just a few months? Intelligence Director Quindar stepped forward and activated the chamber's holographic display. Images appeared in the air above them. Ship designs that looked alien even to aliens. Energy readings that made no sense. Battle reports that seemed like fiction. The evidence shows quantum manipulation technology, Quindar explained. Faster than light travel that does not use hyperspace at all. Weapons that can disable our ships without destroying them. Shields that learn from every attack. Commander Kethral of the Zelkin Empire struggled to stand. His pride had been badly damaged since his ship was defeated by a single human vessel. I have seen what they can do with my own eyes. One human ship disabled our heavy cruiser without firing a single shot. They are not the same species we left to die at Sol. We did not leave them to die, Veltar protested, but his voice lacked confidence. We made a tactical withdrawal to better positions. We ran away, interrupted Counselor Marathok of the Trade Federation. His tentacles writhed with agitation. We broke our promises and ran away when they needed us most. Now our own member worlds are asking questions about Council leadership. The chamber erupted in heated arguments. Some representatives blamed the humans for being ungrateful. Others worried about their own planet's safety. A few quietly wondered if they had chosen the wrong side. The Mirallan Collective has begun secret talks with human representatives. Marathok continued when the noise died down. 3 independent systems have formally asked for human protection instead of council protection. More are considering it every day. Admiral Thexmore pounded his fist on his desk. Then we remind everyone why the council has kept peace in this galaxy for 1,000 years. I propose immediate military action. Military action against what targets? Quindar asked. We do not know where their main bases are. Human space has become impossible for our scouts to enter. Every probe we send disappears or returns with no useful information. Then we force them to come to us. Thexmore said with determination, I will take a fleet to Sol. I will demand they restore diplomatic relations. When they refuse, we will show them council strength. And if they have turned Sol into a fortress? Asked a small voice in the back of the chamber. Then we break their fortress, Thexmore replied. Humans are still humans. They cannot have changed that much. But they were wrong, and some of them knew it. In the hidden corners of the chamber, representatives whispered to each other about the reports they had received. Human ships that moved like ghosts. Human weapons that thought faster than organic minds. Human technology that seemed to break the laws of physics. On the trade world of Nexus Prime, Merchant Prince Velcara held a secret meeting with other business leaders. The humans have offered us exclusive trading rights for their new technology, she whispered. Quantum engines for our cargo ships. Adaptive materials for our factories. Weapons for our security forces. But the Council has forbidden all trade with humans, another merchant replied nervously. The Council cannot protect us if the humans decide we are enemies, Velcara pointed out. Look what happened to the Zelkins. Look what happened to the Nexri battle groups. One human ship defeated 12 Nexri warships without taking any damage. Meanwhile, in human space, Dr. Eugene sat in her monitoring station at Tau Ceti. Her job was to listen to Council communications. She smiled as she recorded Admiral Thexmore's speech about taking a fleet to Sol. Admiral Park. She transmitted using humanity's instant quantum communication system. They are coming to us. Admiral Thexmore is bringing a fleet to Sol. Operation Homecoming can begin. Throughout human space, ships began moving with purpose that spoke of careful planning and long preparation. The Council thought they were forcing humanity to reveal their strength. They had no idea that humanity wanted them to come to Sol. It was all part of a plan that had been months in the making. On Earth, Admiral Dongwu Park stood in the command center that had been built deep underground. Holographic displays showed human ships positioning themselves throughout the solar system. Each ship was equipped with technology the Council could not imagine. "How many Council ships is Thexmore bringing?" he asked. 47 vessels, including their flagship Council's will, reported Captain Teho Choi. "It is their most powerful dreadnought." Admiral Park nodded slowly. "Good. Let them bring their best. Let them bring their strongest. When we are finished with them, every world in the galaxy will know that the age of the Council is over." The trap was set. The Council fleet was coming to Seoul, thinking they would force humanity to surrender. Instead, they would learn what humanity had become when pushed beyond their limits. They would learn that betraying humanity had consequences they never imagined. The Sol system looked very different from when humanity had first joined the Galactic Council, where Earth once had only a few small defense stations. Now space around the planet was filled with structures that seemed to bend reality itself. Massive rings of metal and energy surrounded the sun. Stations that flickered in and out of existence dotted the asteroid belt. Admiral Dongwu Park stood on the bridge of his flagship Defiance. Through the viewing window, he watched Admiral Thexmore's fleet emerge from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. 47 ships, including the massive dreadnought councils. Well, that was a pride of the galactic fleet. "They certainly brought their best toys," commented Captain In-Ho Song from his escort ship Determination. "Almost makes me remember when we thought ships like that were scary." Signal from the enemy flagship, reported Communications Officer Myung Lee. "Admiral Thexmore demands immediate surrender and restoration of diplomatic relations with the Council." Admiral Park smiled coldly. "Put me through to all channels. Let us give them their diplomatic relations." Ambassador Soo-Jin Kim appeared on screens throughout the solar system. Thanks to humanity's quantum communication networks, her image also appeared on every Council world at the same time. She stood in the same chamber where she had declared humanity's withdrawal from the Council, but now she wore the insignia of the Human Alliance. "People of the galaxy," she began, her voice carrying the weight of betrayal and newfound strength. 18 months ago, humanity trusted the Galactic Council to keep its promises. When the Devourer swarms attacked our worlds, we believe in your words about mutual defense and shared responsibility. The Council fleet continued moving toward Earth. Their weapons were powered but not yet aimed at targets. Instead, we watched Council ships run away while our colonies burned. We listened to excuses while our people died. We learned that Council promises mean nothing when real courage is needed. On the Council world of Prima, the emergency session watched in growing horror as Soo-Jin's broadcast reached every planet in their territory. Some representatives tried to turn off their screens, but the human signal was too strong to block. Today, Admiral Thexmore has come to Seoul to demand we return to the system that betrayed us, to rejoin the organization that abandoned us when we needed help most, to pretend that broken trust can be fixed by pointing guns at us. Admiral Thexmore opened a communication channel to the human fleet. His voice was full of anger and authority. "Surrender now, or face the consequences of defying the galactic order." Admiral Park's response was calm, almost gentle. "Admiral, you are outgunned, outmaneuvered, and completely outclassed. I suggest you listen carefully to what our ambassador has to say." "Outgunned?" Thexmore laughed. "I have 47 ships. You have barely a dozen. Quality over quantity, Admiral. You will understand soon enough." Soo-Jin continued her broadcast to the galaxy. "Our response is simple. The Council system is broken beyond any hope of repair. Its promises are worthless. Its protection is an illusion. Its leadership is corrupt. We offer every world, every species, every individual choice." The first demonstration came without any warning. The Council's will, the most powerful ship in the galactic fleet, simply stopped moving. Every system aboard the massive dreadnought went offline at exactly the same moment. Its lights went out. Its engines died. Its weapons powered down. The great ship drifted in space like a dead whale. "What just happened?" Thexmore shouted at his crew. "Get my systems back online." "Sir, we are trying, but nothing is responding." his chief engineer replied in panic. It is like something is controlling our ship from the outside. Join the human alliance, Su-Jin said as chaos spread to the Council fleet, where strength comes from cooperation, not domination, where promises are kept, not broken when it is convenient. One by one, the other Council ships found themselves in the same situation. 47 proud warships became 47 floating pieces of metal. Their crews were unharmed, but their vessels were completely powerless. It was a display of technological superiority, so complete that fighting back became impossible. How are they doing this? Admiral Thexmore demanded, but no one had answers. From hidden positions throughout the solar system, human ships decloaked. Not dozens, but hundreds. Ships that had been invisible now showed themselves. Each one was sleek and deadly, powered by technology the Council could not understand. To the Council leadership and those who still support their failed system, Su-Jin's voice filled the silence of space. Humanity offers this final warning. She paused, letting her words reach every corner of the galaxy. Flee. As she spoke, human ships began appearing at the borders of Council space. Their quantum fold drives allowed them to travel instantly across vast distances. On 17 different worlds, planetary governments declared independence from Council authority and requested human alliance protection instead. Admiral Thexmore watched his communication board light up with messages from across the galaxy. Colony after colony was abandoning the Council. Trade routes were being redirected to human space. Military commanders were asking if they should surrender rather than fight an impossible battle. The age of the Council is over, Su-Jin concluded. The age of true cooperation begins now. Humanity remembers those who stood with us in our darkest hour. We also remember those who did not. Admiral Park's fleet escorted the disabled Council ships to the edge of the solar system with professional courtesy. The message was clear. Earth would never again be threatened by those who had proven themselves unworthy of trust. Take this message back to your masters, Admiral Park told Thexmore as his ship systems came back online. Humanity is no longer asking to be treated as equals. We are demanding it. Those who refuse will face the consequences. The galaxy watched as the balance of power shifted in real time. The species that had been dismissed as emotional and weak had not only survived betrayal, they had emerged stronger, more advanced, and completely unwilling to accept lies and broken promises. The age of human dominance had begun.